Deputy President William Ruto says the new war on drug trafficking would now target the drug barons and not the small fish. Addressing the media in Mombasa, the Deputy President said the government, with the help of other countries, was keen to end the vice that continues to destroy the lives of mainly young people at the coast. Ruto was addressing the media after meeting security chiefs in Mombasa.
The district security committees, the county security committees, under the stewardship of the regional security committees, will ensure that these food items reach the intended beneficiaries. And working in collaboration with local community leaders and regional leaders to ensure that we do not get reports of any Kenyan losing their lives because of food or because of lack of food or because of hunger. Because we have adequate stocks of food, not just here at the coast, but all over the country, the government has already rolled 1.6 billion shillings kitty to cater for Kenyans in strain, especially where they don't have food. And for the next 5 months, all the way to May, we are going to supply food items to the areas that are in need.
Meanwhile, the Deputy President has also denied claims that the maize being distributed to hunger-stricken people has been imported into the country. Ruto has clarified that all the foodstuff issued so far have been bought locally.
The district security committees, the county security committees, under the stewardship of the regional security committees, will ensure that these food items reach the intended beneficiaries. And working in collaboration with local community leaders and regional leaders to ensure that we do not get reports of any Kenyan losing their lives because of food or because of lack of food or because of hunger. Because we have adequate stocks of food, not just here at the coast, but all over the country, the government has already rolled 1.6 billion shillings kitty to cater for Kenyans in strain, especially where they don't have food. And for the next 5 months, all the way to May, we are going to supply food items to the areas that are in need.
Reporter Francis Ontomo attended that particular briefing by the Deputy President. Let's link up with him now for more details. A very good afternoon to you, Francis. Thank you for joining us. It seems that the narrative of drug lords and the war on narcotics continues to be a favorite topic among leaders who are getting into the coast in search for votes.
Well, indeed, Akisa, there is a fresh momentum on this particular issue and a lot of vigor coming from the state regarding this particular new resolve to really tackle the problem of drugs in the coast region. The Deputy President William Ruto was here in Mombasa earlier in the day, actually making that particular press briefing where he was talking tough on this particular new resolve. And actually, of essence, or what came out of him was that this time around, the game has changed and the strategy has changed. And they will now be targeting the big fish rather, regarding this particular war on drugs. And they are saying that this time around, they're not going for the smaller users, but they are going for those drug lords that have actually been peddling their businesses around here in the coast region. Well, there appears that indeed the government seems to be actually embracing a fresh strategy, given that they are now moving and trying now to reach out to other agencies, because we understand that the US is actually highly firmly involved involved in this particular war. We understand that the four men who were extradited to the U.S., there were actually that heavy connection, or rather heavy hand of the U.S. in that particular extradition process. And therefore, this particular strategy, the Deputy President actually hailed it as one that will work this time around. Another issue that came out regarding this particular matter, the DP said that they have given firm instructions to local security networks to be able to really up their game on this particular war. You may want to recall that not once but severally we've had allegations coming from several quarters that the local police networks were actually siding with these particular drug lords, and that has actually made it difficult to really neuter this particular problem.
Francis, we know that residents of the coast region, mostly Mombasa and the environs, are the worst affected with drug trafficking in the country. But with this continued narrative by leaders, what exactly are the residents saying?
Well, there seems to be a huge enthusiasm from the people of Mombasa, particularly here, and the entire coast region regarding this fresh resolve to fight the war on drugs. And there are many actually hailing this as a step in the right direction, as being a huge step in terms of trying to really handle this particular issue that has dogged the region for many, many years. And therefore, there is a lot of optimism here. Well, there has been several quarters, there has been so many descriptions of Mombasa, and Mombasa has been, some actually have gone ahead to describe Mombasa as a gangster's paradise, given this particular area has actually housed fugitives that are actually fugitives in other countries, but they find some haven down here in Mombasa, and that has been largely been blamed on local security networks. But this time around, there is that particular challenge that has been thrown to them by none other than the top executives of the country, that indeed they must tighten this particular war so that they win it. And when actually, just to paint to you a bit of a picture of what really Mombasa is and the drug connection, most of the slums here in Mombasa, this is a huge problem. We are talking of the Changamwe slums, the slums of Chuda, the slums of Kisauni. Those are the dens actually where this particular trade goes on. And the smaller users, you will find them actually dotting the streets of these particular areas. And that's just to show you really how big this particular problem is. There have been allegations in the past of the Kenya Postal Authority here actually playing conduit to drug peddling, but that is a matter that has been actually been handled at high level, and there seems to be things moving. Things are actually appearing that they're moving this time around. And this time there is a bit of confidence that this could actually be won. Of many concern to many Kenyans has actually been the question of perhaps the state could be using this as a ploy to really find their way into the elections actually. But that is something that actually the DP dismissed in the morning, saying that this fresh resolve must bear fruits this time around.